What's going on, everybody? Rob here, aka Trev2323. It's like October 27th or October 28th. Normally, this is already at the store being ready for shrink wrapped and winterized, although nobody's working. I went to schedule my appointment at the store I normally go to shrink wrap and winterize. I cannot get in till December 13th is when I can get in. So this year, it's not going to get shrink wrapped, but I am gonna run fuel stabilizer through it myself and take out the battery. Now I have to get this top off right here. If you're just doing your boat outside in the winter with this top right here, it's the worst thing that could do, because the water is gonna sit on it. The weight of the snow is gonna make it go in. It's gonna drip water into your boat, and even though you use fiberglass, you can still, with the moisture, make it wet, mess up the wood in here. So this right here is gonna come off. It rained like a monsoon the past couple weekends, and this has been sitting here. So we're gonna go ahead and take it off. I got a buddy that's charging me for some heated storage, so we're gonna go ahead and put it in heated storage this year. I'm just gonna run the fuel stabilizer, take the battery out, and springtime next year we're gonna set the appointment, because it's 3 years old. So every 3 years on this one I have to change the impeller or have it changed, and you got to do it the gear loop. Now they recommend to do gear loop if it's a winter, it's going to be sitting outside, but this is going to be in heated storage. And the gear loop is this unit right here, this lower unit right here. See, and this one right here, I see the one right here. There should be two of them. I don't see the second one. See, so I would even have to look out, because normally there's one low and one high. You take them out and you pump in through the low one, and it comes out the high one. So I don't even see the lower screw on that one. But I'm going to take it to the big box store to do that. But right now I'm uncovering it after the rain. I know every time I shoot a video, somebody's working on something. But this right here is what I'm using to put on here when we run the water through. But let's see what it looks like on the inside when I uncover it. Now in the Bayliner Element, we did purchase one of these for the front. Let's see if I can stand up here. For the front, we purchased one of these because you will get a low spot in the rain with if you don't have one of these in the front. You see, I have to put it on the where the anchor goes, and I flip that over, and I filled it with foam because they just blow apart. And if this right here filled with the insulation foam will float. Let's This is the fuel stabilizer. This is the boat key already. The outside of the boat has been waxed already. Oh my god, I can never get a clear time just to talk to you. I started taking my outer LED lights off because the sun was baking them really. Okay, so let's go in here. This is where the Bayliner Element captures the most water, back here. You see underneath, that's a damper. When you store your boat, you should have those in your boat, damperids. And this right here, it's filled up already, completely filled up just because of the rain. Okay, now this is the one that does not drain into the bilge. So I already fill this wet right here. But you see, you get water built up in there because this one does not drain into the bilge. You see the water around here? This does not drain into the bilge because the fumes from your gas are heavier. So if the bilge starts up and you have fumes in there, you don't want it to blow up. So I do have to leave that out and rinse that off. You see, gas tank is on full. Gas tank is on full. Now your battery for your Bayliner Element is on this side over here. This is where the battery, look at, there's the water right there, so I'm gonna have to raise that up to get that water out. You want it completely dry when it's going to storage. There's the battery's gonna have to come out. All right, let me turn on the bilge to see if any water's in there from all the rain we had. Nothing in the bilge. That's a good sign. So this is to trim down your battery. You have to have your battery down if you're going to run the fuel stabilizer through it. I'm not even putting the key in the ignition until I have the water running over there. Now the Bayliner comes with a 12-gallon tank. That's a 12-gallon tank on full. I leave the 12-gallon tank full, running for 10 minutes with fuel stabilizer so it could get into the system. This is why I leave it full. This is a cold weather region, and even so, it's going to be indoors. Fuel gums up. It gums up really bad. So if it's gonna stay indoors, it's gonna gum up, and it's gonna gum up in your carburetors. No, actually fuel injectors. It's fuel injectors, but that's where it starts to gum up at, and you do not want it to gum up in there. And that's what fuel stabilizer is. Fuel storage. I use it in my lawnmower, my snowblower, and with the boat. Okay, so this is a 12-gallon tank, so I need 5 ounces. It's measured on ounces right there. I need 5 ounces of fuel stabilizer in this tank, and then I gotta run it for like 10 minutes. Why I keep the gas tank full? Because in the cold and the hot, in the cold and the hot, in the cold and the hot, you build up condensation. The more air you have in the tank, the more condensation builds up on the side of the tank. You think of a still, the condensation builds up, you get the water that goes out, and then when it gets water that builds up from the moisture, and then when it warms up, the water goes back down into the gas. The water, drips on the side, then the water goes down into the gas, and it waters your gas down. So I top it off with high grade gas, the highest octane gas, and then I run stable through it. So let me get that ready. Alright, so I need 5 ounces. So you take this, you squeeze it, and there's 1 ounce right there. And I need 5 ounces for this tank right here. Gas tank area. And then also when the boat gets stored, none of the seats, there's nothing inside all the boat area at all. And then you put dampers, about 3 of them throughout the boat underneath. And this time, believe it or not, this time it's gonna get stored with the canvas cover on. Why? Because it's gonna be an indoor heated storage. So with indoor heated storage, I'm just gonna leave the cover on so all this don't get dusty, and the cover will get dusty. But if you're outdoors in a winter area, you need a shrink wrapped and you need ventilation. Either way, over the winter, you should not store your boat with the seats on. Nothing circulates. This with everything out, you'll get a circulation throughout the boat at all, and then when you shrink wrap your boat, there should be ventilations on it to be able to circulate the air inside the boat. But the ventilations don't allow water, they just allow air to circulate in the boat. So let me get this motor on, and then when I get the motor on, then I'll start taking all the seats out the boat. You should never run your motor out of the water, period, unless you have the ears in some water. These ears are the expensive ones. When the water comes down, it splits both ways and goes in through both sides. The cheap ones only goes one way and then through one side, and on the 75 mercury, it will not get the water to where you need it. You need the expensive ones because you do not want to burn out the motor. When I turn on that key, I give it like 30 seconds to see water coming out of here, and if water's not coming out of here, I shut it off and try to readjust the ears. Now I gotta lift my motor off the ground because you see the motor's on the ground with it down. So I gotta put the front end of the boat a little bit lower because I don't want that just sitting on the ground, because then that's putting pressure on the what's the back of the boat? The hull, I can't think of the name right now. I know people are gonna comment on it and give me a hard time about that, but I want to make sure that's off the ground. Okay, that's off the ground. I want to make sure you don't want any extra pressure on this that you have to. This is the one part on boats that really goes out bad. This part right here. People tell me I need to get one of those poles that go from the trailer to hold up the motor that way. Eventually I will, but I'm thinking if they don't sell me one, they're saying that that's enough to hold this motor up. So I don't know. I'm the owner of this boat, so I got lifetime warranty on that hole. All right, let me get this affixed right here. I know the sun's in a bad position right now. I apologize. Let's put this down. Okay, the motor's not on the ground. This is free right here. So this comes on from the front. And you will not turn this motor on unless you have water coming into this. I tell you again. There's holes right here. Excuse me. They have to go over those little holes and seal really good. That simulates being underwater. So this right here, over the holes. And then now you turn your water on. You do not touch that key till that water is on. End of October, still got beautiful cherry tomatoes. Okay, so the water's running, I could hear it. So now I can put the boat key in, and then we'll look to see the telltale if anything comes out. Fuel stabilizer's in there. Gotta set a timer. I don't know, you think water's coming out? Yeah, it looks like water's coming out. Now I can turn on the motor. You know what? I'm gonna get that a little bit more straight. See, that had a kink in it, and I want full water going into that motor. Okay, now we can turn it on. And away we go. No, can't even get the key in one here. Oh, it's in drive. That's why I won't go on. Why is it in drive? It is in drive because when you trailer it, that prop shouldn't be free spinning. You got to click it in gear in order to trailer it, so that prop is just still. It's not just spinning aimlessly. And your motor has to be up, because I seen a video on TikTok that they left the motor down and it was scraping the ground. Okay, here we go again. Gotta look for the telltale. There it is right there. See it coming out? That means there's water. That means there's water coming through the motor right now. Okay, so you see I'm taking all the seats and everything, the life jackets, everything out the boat. And you ask, why do you take everything out the boat? I never do that to my boat, yada yada yada. Well, if you have an attached garage and you know there's no critters, even boat rodents, mice, over here we have possums, raccoons. If you have any of that in your boat, and this is the first year I'm storing it somewhere else, you worry about those getting into your boat. And when they get into your boat, they like making comfy cushions out of your seats, okay? But that's not the only reason why. You see, we have life jackets in this compartment, we have life jackets in this compartment, we got the anchor in this compartment. There's no air ventilation. That's a big reason why, if you have hot cold hot cold hot cold hot cold for like 4 months, that's all condensation that's building up in there with no air circulation. So I have all the seats off, is how I'm going to transport it. No battery, the gas tank's going to be there, all the seats are going to be off. And then before we leave, we put like 3 of these in damp red. You see, this is full. I mean, it rained and this boat been outside, and that is full. That one is no good no more. But we're going to put one in the anchor locker. We're going to put one in the middle right here. We'll probably put one right in the middle right here, and then that's how we're gonna store the boat with the cover on it. Now, if you wanted to go above and beyond, I got the automotive plastic that we could pull over. That's probably what we do. I got the automotive plastic we'll pull over, and you'll just put bricks or tape it down, tape it around the frame. This way you don't get dust on it. But if it's gonna be in a heated garage, it really should be okay till next season. And next season I start again waxing the whole thing from the inside out. So this water been on, you see with the rain, there's rainwater sitting all in there. That's rainwater. So microfibers are for, before we take it to the garage, everything is coming out of it. Everything's coming out of it. It's going to be bone dry before we put it in the heated garage. And I've been monitoring this, even though that's running. I've been monitoring this. I haven't left this with this out the water with that motor running to make sure those butterflies didn't just wobble their way off the motor, and then that'll burn up your motor. Your motor's dead if that happens. So you gotta, that telltale is called a telltale for a reason. One thing I do with the Bayliner Element is this is your anchor locker. I have 2 extra life preservers. So when you're hitting the waves, this isn't hitting your boat, or minimally, I guess you could say minimally hitting your boat. If you had this just sitting on the ground, this would be beating the crap out of your hull. Now if you're going to vacuum out the inside of your boat, be sure to have the fuzzy thing on it, because I scratched the boat right here vacuuming it. I just had the plastic piece, the plastic pole on with the plastic pole, and it left the lines on the gel coat. So if you're gonna vacuum your boat, have the fuzzy part on it so you don't. This still looks pretty dang good. I'm gonna use it like 5 times this season realistically. Next is the mini top's coming off, because that's gonna go in the garage. And when I get to the storage unit, the ski tower is gonna lay down, so I gotta take some extra towels, because the ski tower lays down on this right here. I have to drop the ski tower to get it into the garage. After the water's running in that motor, you gotta remember, always remember, lift that motor and don't drive with that place, to find the place for all that. Now I know tons of older boaters say, hey, you don't need to do that, just leave it in there, shrink wrap it and go. I work hard for my stuff, and I need this hole to last as long as I can. I actually looked at a boat before I bought this one where the guy used double canvases to strap and rink in the winter time, and his floors were just mush because the condensation that builds up there. You need the air circulation if you're storing it over a winter place. Unless you... All right, to take down the mini, try to get it from this side. These are like a little lock that locks in place, so you push it outward, but if you can, you got to push the spring outward, then you pull this straight, and then you pull it out, and that's how you get the mini. Okay, we're going on about 20 minutes with the motor. Shut it off, lift it up, and get the battery out. Meanwhile, I got all my garbage bags, because all these get stored in garbage bags in the basement, because I don't want any dust on them. Off. There it is, almost completely full still. I gotta trim the motor up now. Can't travel anywhere unless that motor is lifted. Then you can't travel anywhere unless you press this, put that in gear. Now that's pressed and put in gear, so everything's not gonna spin. All right, here's the rest of the stuff that I do leave in here. What I do is, I shouldn't even leave that in there. Look at that's wet on the bottom from all the rain. I'm gonna get all this out after all. All this is wet on the bottom from all the rain. See, look at moisture. Moisture is the worst. Moisture is the worst thing for your boat. Moisture. Look at moisture. That's all moisture. That's the worst thing for your boat. Don't have moisture. Moisture on the outside, of course, that's water. Moisture on the inside, no bueno. So I got some towels in here now. I'm going to crank up the front of the boat so all the water can sit to the back of the gas tank area, and then I'm going to start getting that out. Now a lot of guys actually drill through there so it could make so the water could drain into the bilge. I don't, because it serves a purpose why they built it like that. But also you see a little bit water right here, because that hose is like got little ridges through the hose going out the back. So when I lift it and when I drive, I have the butt plug. I start with the plug of the boat out. That'll drip out the back when I'm driving. And then I'm going to put the moisture stuff in here. So let me raise it out, get that to the back, and then I got to wring out all those to make sure that's completely dry and shut off the water. Okay, I just disconnected my hose, and there's one thing that I am going to do before I move it. And I gotta remember, I'm leaving it for 10 minutes. I'm gonna leave it down to completely drain all the water out of there, and then I'm gonna go ahead and lift it back up. So I'm gonna leave it down, let all the water drain, but before I pull this battery, I have to lift that back up. Right now I'm gonna lift the whole boat and start draining all the water from this gas area. And there's a breather port right here, but like I said, there's no holes to go to the bilge, because the fumes from the gasoline and propane is heavier than the air, so it sits in the bilge. And if the bilge has to go on, which it will go on when it's sitting at the marina, just because it's 100 degrees outside and the water's 55, so you do build condensation in here that flows to the back and gets shot out the bilge. So when that goes on, Bayliner doesn't want, or no boats want, fumes, air to be in here when that goes on, and sparks blow up your boat. That's why your inboards have the fan, that you got to turn on the fan before you turn on the boat. Okay, so 3 bags. I got about another bag to go here, 2 bags to go here for the all those lined up on the ground. The sun's in my way right now. Those are all the seats and the life jackets. I got some more seats, and this miscellaneous to go. It's going in my basement. If you don't know, Chicago, yeah, we won the award for the most rats in the city. So this right here, I do not store anything that I like in right here. But I lifted the motor now. Battery's gonna come out. Cranked it all the way up so the water, any moisture could come to the back. Now I got the microfibers, and with the microfibers, I'm making sure all the moisture is out the back right here. See the microfibers down in there? So I'm gonna go ahead and microfiber all the gas tank area and make sure all the moisture is out of there. So when I drive it to where we're gonna store it at, the cover is not gonna be on. It is going just bare bones like this. So then when we get there, I'm gonna put the canvas on it. I gotta lower this down to get it through the garage door, and then back it in. And before I button up the last of the canvas, I'm gonna put all the moisture stuff in there to stop the moisture. It absorbs the moisture. But this is it. This is bare bones. Just absorb the moisture, and I'm ready to go. Now before I go in, since everybody is short on employees right now, everybody, 2021, everybody's short on employees. The plugs have to be done in this. I gotta do the plugs in this, and then I gotta do the grease in this, the gear oil in the bottom. And since it's 3 years old under warranty, I need the impeller done. Why you maintain this? Because you're taking everybody out on the water, and you don't want to cut shortcuts. So I gotta schedule an appointment in springtime now to get all that done before I put it in the water. All right, either way, that's me taking care of this Bayliner element, trying to get it ready to store for the season. Talk to you later. Subscribe, like, and share. Subscribe. Do me a favor, share one of my videos. Say, this is one of my good friends. This is what he does for a living. Talk to you later. Bye bye.